House to come to order. Members, proceed to your seats. Will the members please rise for the invocation delivered by Reverend Jerry Morton DeWitt, retired Lutheran pastor, Frankfort, Kentucky, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. God of justice and mercy, thank you for the gift of life and the opportunity to serve the people of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. By the light of your Son, help us to act with character and conviction. Help us to listen with understanding and goodwill. Help us to speak with charity and restraint. Give us a spirit of service. Remind us that we are stewards of your authority. Guide us to be the leaders your people need. Help us see the humanity and dignity of those who disagree with us and to treat all persons, no matter race, creed, or standing, with the reverence your creation deserves. And finally, Father, renew us with the strength of your presence and the joy of helping to build a commonwealth worthy of the human person. We ask this as your sons and daughters, confident in your goodness and love. Amen.
Clerk will sound the chimes. Members will indicate their presence. Clerk will take the roll. Being 95 members indicating their presence, a quorum is declared and the House is ready to proceed. Next order of business, the excuse of absent members. Gentleman from Taylor.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that the absent members be excused in accordance with the House rules.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from Taylor.
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend the rules for the purpose of allowing members to co-sponsor bills and resolutions or to submit vote modifications and have filed the proper papers with the clerk to do so.
Without objection, so ordered. Next order of business, the approval of the journal. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, we have the Clerk of the Senate.
Chair recognizes the Clerk of the Senate.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker.
Good afternoon, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, the Senate has passed Senate Bills 47, 85, and 159 and respectfully request concurrence of this honorable body.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, sir.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that the journal from Wednesday, February 18, 2026 be approved.
Without objection, the journal from Wednesday, February 18, 2026 is approved. Next order of business is second reading of bills. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 111 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Bivens, an act relating to on-farm animal health. House Bill 141 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Derek Lewis, an act relating to type 1 diabetes. House Bill 185, Representative Emily Callaway, an act relating to employment. House Bill 227 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Lockett, an act relating to addictive online platforms. House Bill 355 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative McPherson, an act relating to real property appraisers. House Bill 415 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Kleins, an act relating to educators. House Bill 422 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Pfister, an act relating to crimes and punishments. House Bill 455 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Bonta, an act relating to artificial intelligence and declaring an emergency. House Bill 521, Representative Rudy, an act relating to stalking. House Bill 527 with House Committee Substitute 1 and House Committee Amendment 1, the title amendment, Representative Pollock, an act relating to insurance regulatory requirements. House Bill 555, Representative Pollock, an act relating to school foods. House Bill 558, Representative Dietz, an act relating to protective orders. House Bill 568, Representative Meredith, an act relating to public adjusters. And House Bill 627 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Bray, an act relating to insurance.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next order of business, report of committees. Please report.
The Elections, Constitutional Amendments, and Intergovernmental Affairs Committee has met and reports House Bill 534 should pass with House Committee Substitute 1, an act relating to elections and declaring an emergency. The Health Services Committee has met and reports House Bill 510 should pass, an act relating to organ donation safety. State Government Committee has met and reports House Bill 220 should pass, an act relating to pension spiking in the systems administered by the Kentucky Public Pensions Authority. House Bill 467 with House Committee Substitute 1 should pass, an act relating to real property. House Bill 516 should pass, an act relating to retirement benefits for probationary employment. House Bill 589 should pass with House Committee Substitute 1, an act relating to retired emergency personnel. And the Tourism and Outdoor Recreation Committee has met and reports House Bill 168 should pass to rules with House Committee Substitute 1 and 2, an act relating to boating under the influence.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. All those bills and resolutions receiving favorable committee reports should be considered as having their first reading and are ordered placed upon the calendar. House Bill 168, having received 2 previous readings, is ordered in the possession of the Rules Committee for further action. Next order of business, the orders of the day. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 485 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion is made and seconded that House Bill 485 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, Read for the third time by title and sponsor only and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 485, an act relating to the care and treatment of individuals with mental illness. Representative Nemes.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Jefferson 33 for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Jefferson 33 for explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd ask the clerk to report House Committee Substitute 1, please.
Clerk, please report.
House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 485.
Move
Gentleman from
adoption. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move adoption of House Committee Substitute 1.
Motion is for the adoption of House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion of the committee substitute? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. House Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Jefferson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What House Bill 485 does is it amends the laws with respect to civil commitment for people with mental illness. There are two statutes, generally, or chapters that it deals with. One is KRS Chapter 202C, and the other is KRS Chapter 202A. They're different, but they both deal with civil commitment in the mental health space. So 202C deals with violent crime. So if someone is accused of a violent crime and they have been determined that they can't go through trial, then they can go through the 202C process. And so what we have there is there's a like a mini trial that happens where they have to prove that the person did it and the person has a mental illness and that they're dangerous to themselves. They're danger to themselves or others. That happens every 6 months, and you can imagine how taxing that is on the family. So we're going to move that out to every 2 years. And the other change we're going to make on that is rather than having to show that the person did it every time, if there's new evidence, that will come into play. But once it's been proven, it stays throughout the case, kind of for the lawyers, kind of like res judicata. And then the only questions in that hearing would be whether or not the person suffers from a mental illness and whether they're a danger to others and they need to be treated. So that's the change that we are making in 202C. There are some technical changes as well. These are requested from the Chief Justice's Mental Health Commission. The other change, the other statute chapter that we're changing is KRS 202A. Now, 202A does not require any crime to have been committed. It might have been a minor crime, but it's not required. And so what we're doing there is we're going to add some guardrails. Currently, when you go through the 202A process, 202C process, you have the question of whether or not the person is going to be involuntarily institutionalized, or if not, whether they're released. Oftentimes, there should be something in the middle where they shouldn't be institutionalized, but they should have some guardrails, medications, counseling, and the like. Also, if they are institutionalized, when they are released, and hopefully this will incentivize releasing earlier, when they're released, we can also have guardrails that they will have to be to adhere to. Again, this has been on the books since 1976 without any significant changes, and this is some changes to modernize it and improve the process. I will say, Mr. Speaker, if I might, this has been years in the making. I'm a brother and a lawyer who's been involved in a few 202A processes, and these are significant improvements that have been needed. It's been years in the making. We've had scores of meetings with the Chief Justice, with mental health advocates, the cabinet, prosecutors, judges, defense counsel, many, many others. And so it's a process that brings us here today, I think, with a, in my view, a very, very good bill. And so with that, Mr. Speaker, I would like to, if I might, yield to the lady from Kenton 64 for discussion on House Floor Amendment 2.
Chair recognizes the lady from Kenton 64.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the gentleman from Jefferson has discussed, 485 is simply an update to the 202A process, which hasn't happened in a long time. It just ensures that Kentuckians who are experiencing a mental health crisis will receive the appropriate level of care. We hope to end the cycle of repeated hospitalizations and encounters with the criminal justice system, which is a cycle now that prevents meaningful recovery. We have far too many Kentuckians who are not getting the necessary mental health care under the 202A statute, and so when a family member petitions the court in getting help for their loved one, they're desperate and they're afraid. Right now, our courts, as the gentleman discussed, only have two options in 202A cases. That's evaluate and hospitalize or evaluate and release. And so we really need to add another option, a step up or a step down, to make sure that individuals are getting that appropriate level of care, and that's exactly what this bill does. It makes some changes to some definitions around mental illness, danger, and some technical issues and changes in the court process. It focuses and emphasizes community-based outpatient treatment when hospitalization is not the appropriate level of care. It strengthens the collaboration between healthcare professionals and the court system, and it builds a system of care that responds to all the varying degrees of mental illness with the appropriate level of treatment, as I said. So some folks, I'll just say quickly, have concerns that this will exceed our capacity in our psychiatric beds. I just submit that we don't really know, because right now we don't have a system that treats all people who are suffering with mental illness. They're cycling in and out of jail through emergency departments and living on the street without care at all. So we plan to track capacity and make sure that we do have the capacity when the time comes. Mr. Speaker, if you could have the clerk please report House Floor Amendment 2. I'll just talk about what that does.
Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 2 to House Bill 485.
Lady from Kenton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This amendment just further tightens the language around who may be ordered to treatment, it's the process, and that the person must be unable to provide for their basic personal needs. It adds Section 10 to address times when the respondent may agree to comply with treatment, and it clarifies that process. These are all recommendations from our stakeholder group and the Treatment Advocacy Center, which is a national group that scores states' ability to care for these vulnerable people. Mr. Speaker, if there are no questions, I move adoption.
Motion is for the adoption of House Floor Amendment 2. Is there any discussion on the floor amendment? Gentleman from Round, you wish to discuss the floor amendment of the bill? Motion is for the adoption of House Floor Amendment 2. Those in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. House Floor Amendment 2 is adopted. Lady McKinnon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll just wrap up with just saying that the gentleman from Jefferson and I have been very deliberate and clear about our goal. This is to ensure that we are building a better, smarter, and a more humane system for mental health treatment. This is about individuals and families in crisis. It's about dignity and safety, and it's about finally giving our courts more than two inadequate choices. I yield back to the gentleman from Jefferson.
Gentleman from Jefferson 33.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You should have yielded to me the first time. I'm sorry. I would like to yield, if I might, to the lady from Jefferson 35 for action on House Floor Amendment 1.
Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson 35.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, sponsor, for your incredible amount of work on this and the level of collaboration that has gone into this bill. I just want to highlight three things about the bill that I especially appreciate. One is that it provides a new definition of danger, which is going to result in fewer people falling through the holes in our current 202A law. That's going to keep individuals and our communities safer. I want to give a shout out to Kelly Gunning from Lexington, NAMI Lexington, a longtime family advocate who has asked for this change for years and years and years, and that is in this bill. A second thing is that this bill would provide for more points of contact between judicial and mental health systems. So hopefully it's not going to be just contact, but also better communication, better coordination between two incredibly complex systems. And this is also one of the goals of the Supreme Court's Judicial Commission on Mental Health. The last point that I'll mention is that this bill would require that the qualified mental health professionals who do the evaluations resulting from these 202A petitions make a good faith effort to contact the petitioner for background information, for context about why that petition was filed. That's going to provide a fuller clinical picture and is really going to help, I think, getting these patients or these individuals into the appropriate level of care. I want to just finally say that I was initially very skeptical of the bill, but today I'm happy not only to support it, but to be a co-sponsor of this really critically important legislation. Mr. Speaker, could you ask the clerk to please report House Floor Amendment 1?
Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 485.
Lady from Jefferson.
Members, this amendment would do two things. It will require the Cabinet for Health and Family Services to provide us with a report of community mental health programs and supports already existing across the state and to identify gaps in the continuum of care. The second thing it's going to do is require the Administrative Office of the Courts and the mental health systems to work together to report on the data frequency and the outcomes of 202A petitions and other relevant information. And if there are no other questions, I move for adoption of House Floor Amendment 1.
Motion is for the adoption of House Floor Amendment 1. Is there any discussion of the floor amendment? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Floor Amendment 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Jefferson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to move final passage, but I have to say we all have LRC drafters that draft a lot of our bills. This one has been drafted 50 times, and Randall Roof in our Judiciary Committee staff member, he's been absolutely incredible on drafting this. I wanted to call him out and say thanks to him publicly. Mr. Speaker, with that, I'd ask for to move final passage of House Bill 485 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1, House Floor Amendment 1, and House Floor Amendment 2.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 485 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1, House Floor Amendment 1, and House Floor Amendment 2. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson 41 for explanation of vote not to exceed 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was proud to vote yes on this bill, and I want to thank the gentleman from Jefferson 33, the lady from Kenton 64, correct? And especially the lady from Jefferson 35, Dr. Representative lady from 35. So sorry. And we forgot to thank Dr. Sheila Schuster, who also worked on this bill with no pay and got it on a Zoom with all the mental health advocates and all of you all. Hours and hours and hours to get this right. And I just want to thank you so much for doing this. And I brought this up in committee, but 30 years ago, we were 44th in funding for the mentally ill and mental health. We haven't moved up much, and we need to make sure that we take care of our people that are most vulnerable in this society. And I'll continue to be an advocate for funding for the mentally ill in society. But thank you so much for all you've done on this bill.
Clerk will take the roll. Being 95 members voting aye, no members voting nay, House Bill 485, as amended by House Committee Substitute 1 and House Floor Amendment 1 and House Floor Amendment 2 is passed. Gentleman from Jefferson.
Move the clincher.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 43 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion is made and seconded that House Bill 43 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 43, an act relating to deputy coroner training. Representative Gordon.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the lady from Madison for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the lady from Madison for explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Mr. Speaker, House Bill 43 is the same as House Bill 403 from last session, which passed unanimously off of the House floor. This bill would simply allow the Department of Criminal Justice Training to grant a 180-day grace period for a deputy coroner to complete required training. Currently, there is no provision for extenuating circumstances. I move for passage.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 43. Is there any discussion?
Exactly right.
Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. There being 96 members voting aye, no members voting nay, House Bill 43 is passed. Lady from Madison.
Move for clincher.
Without objection, clincher is applied. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 139 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion's made and seconded that House Bill 139 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 139, an act relating to elections and declaring an emergency. Representative Decker.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the lady from Shelby for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the lady from Shelby for explanation of bill and a motion thereon.
Mr. Speaker, I ask the clerk to report House Committee Sub 1 to House Bill 139.
Clerk, please report.
House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 139.
Lady from Shelby.
Move adoption.
Motion is for the adoption of House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion of the committee substitute? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Lady from Shelby.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to yield to the gentleman from District 82 to present his friendly floor amendment.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Whitley for introduction of a floor amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, lady from Shelby. I am honored to be up here with friendly floor amendments and be around friends discussing experts in the field of these topics, such as the gentleman from Davis 13 as the chair of Elections Committee, and the lady from Shelby as someone who has authored and passed into incredible election legislation for many years. In fact, just last night, we were able to discuss legislation about elections aboard a CSX rail car. My wife was there and able to join in on the conversation, and my 2-year-old and 1-year-old were also aboard, wrestling, roughhousing, and the floor on the train. And now I want to tell you a true story about last night. Malachi, my 2-year-old, he'll be 3 next month in March. He was having a big time running on the train, running around, wrestling in the floor with his brother, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's crying and screaming. I'm worried that maybe something happened, and I look up, and a senator had entered our rail car.
Relevance, General.
He had also lost his shoe, so it could have been either one. But anyways, the point is, we get to come up here and use our personal life experience in our discussions and craft legislation. And I don't know why, if something happened to me in the past, but I firmly believe that when your torch is snuffed, you should be out of the game. That's a belief I truly hold close to my heart, because one time I was 34 days into a wild adventure and got replaced by somebody that got voted out on day 1. And that was a $2 million prize. Mr. Speaker, could you please have the clerk report House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 139?
Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 139.
Gentleman from Whitley.
Now, House Floor Amendment 1 establishes that when a candidate withdraws from the race, dies, or is disqualified, the County Board of Elections shall not disclose or report the votes cast for that candidate. House Floor Amendment 1 also requires that precinct election officers display a notice advising voters that those votes shall not be disclosed or reported. So if there are no questions, I'll move for adoption of House Floor Amendment 1.
Motion is for the adoption of House Floor Amendment 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Those opposed, nay. House Floor Amendment 1 is adopted. Lady from Shelby.
Mr. Speaker, I often worry that when I stand before you each year to talk about an election bill with many, many provisions, that you all might feel it tedious, but I don't think you'll remember this year that way with this bill, with that floor amendment. Mr. Speaker, when I ran for state representative, I pledged to work to ensure that our state elections are fair and free. In fulfilling that election promise, I have worked to increase both the integrity of our elections and our voter turnout by sponsoring or co-sponsoring an election bill during every general session, regular session, since I was elected. 2 years ago, former Secretary of State Trey Grayson began referring to these bills as continuous improvement bills, and that is what House Bill 139 is. During each interim session, and especially after each general election, I meet with an informal working group that's made up of the State Board of Elections, the Secretary of, and Deputy Secretary of State, and their staff, various individual county clerks, the Kentucky County Clerks Association, various state legislators, and various concerned citizens to discuss and start planning for a new continuous improvement bill to address any issues that have come to light that might impede the efficient running of our elections, that might hurt voter turnout or the integrity of our vote. Mr. Speaker, if there are no questions, I move passage of House Bill 139 as amended by House Committee Sub and House Floor Amendment 1.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 139 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1 and House Floor Amendment 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. Being 92 members voting aye, 1 member voting nay, House Bill 139, as amended by House Committee Substitute 1 and House Floor Amendment 1, is passed. Lady from Shelby.
Mr. Speaker, I move the clincher.
Without objection, clincher is applied.
Thank you.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 414 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion is made and seconded that House Bill 414 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 414, an act relating to booking procedures in local jails. Representative Flannery.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Carter for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Carter for explanation of bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ask the clerk to please report House Committee Substitute Number 1 to House Bill 414.
Clerk, please report.
House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 414.
Move adoption.
Carter. Motion is for the adoption of House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion of the committee substitute? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Carter.
Thank you. House Bill 414, as amended by House Committee Substitute 1, will allow this Commonwealth to follow the lead of 31 of our sister states and the federal government to help solve crime, prevent crime, and free the innocent. This measure calls for the collection of DNA upon felony arrest. Currently, our Commonwealth, as well as many other states, allows this upon conviction. So how does it help solve cold cases and exonerate quicker? Great question. When someone goes through the booking process, they have a mugshot, height, weight, fingerprints. All this will be added into that process. It gets into the CODIS system, which is a national database. If there is a potential connection to an unsolved crime or a cold case, it will trigger that connection. Then law enforcement would have to proceed with a warrant for the collection of another sample that could potentially be used as evidence in a prosecution. This type of booking procedure has been ruled constitutional over a decade ago in Maryland versus King, and after that, as I said, many of our sister states have proceeded with legislation such as this to implement this booking procedure. One question I often receive on this is what happens with the destruction of this information. If you, on pages 6 through 7, it discusses what happens. So very simply, if a person is not convicted of the underlying crime, if there is a dismissal, if there's a decision to dismiss and it's kept open for further prosecution, or if it's amended to a misdemeanor offense, all that would be destroyed, and it instructs with the word shall for the state police to do that. If there are no further questions, I've moved passage of House Bill 414 as amended by House Committee Substitute Number 1.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 414 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. Means 73 members voting aye, 18 members voting nay. House Bill 414, as amended by House Committee Substitute 1, is passed. Gentleman from Carter.
I move the clincher.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 297 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion's made and seconded that House Bill 297 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 297, an act relating to peace officers. Representative Chris Lewis.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Jefferson 29 for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Jefferson 29 for explanation of bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before implementing the Kentucky State Fair Board Special Police in 2019, all police utilized to patrol events at KSFB properties were contracted by off-duty officers and compensated via service contracts and day labor payments. This pre-2019 model presented major shortcomings with significant cost, limited availability, difficulty with accountability and integration, as well as risks with pension compliance. To mitigate these issues, the KSFB police were formed in 2019. Since then, they have enhanced daily law enforcement presence, organizational engagement, and operational continuity. KSFB currently employs 4 full-time sworn peace officers and 1 part-time officer. These officers provide law enforcement, traffic control, and security services, and their presence has measurably improved overall public safety at Kentucky. This legislation will secure eligibility for KSFB officers under the Kentucky Law Enforcement Council and the Kentucky Law Enforcement Foundation Program Fund. Special law enforcement officers like KSFB police may be certified by KLEC if they meet minimum standards. All currently employed KSFB officers have earned their POP certificates, and any future hires will be required to meet the same standards. Additionally, LMPD has offered to provide and maintain all annual training requirements. Kentucky State Fair Board officers should be eligible for CLEP stipends under KRS 15.460, which states any peace officer sanctioned by the Tourism, Arts, and Heritage Council shall be deemed a police officer solely for the purpose of inclusion in the Law Enforcement Foundation Program Fund. The purpose of House Bill 297 is simply to correct the technical gap that prevents their inclusion despite the apparent legislative intent by explicitly adding KSFB police to the list of eligible state officers under KRS 15.420. Mr. Speaker, if there are no questions, I move passage of House Bill 297.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 297. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. Being 96 members voting aye, no members voting nay, House Bill 297 is passed. Gentleman from Jefferson.
Mr. Speaker, I move the clincher.
Without objection, so ordered. House will stand at ease. House come to order. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, that concludes the orders of the day.
Next order of business is motions, petitions, communications, and announcements. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Resolution 69 be taken from the Committee on Committees and brought to the House floor.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I now need to yield to the gentleman from Perry for an important announcement.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Perry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. All legislators are invited to breakfast in the morning with the Kentucky State Police Troopers, the KSPPA Association, and that includes big boys. Thank you.
Members take note. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, that is all I have for motions, petitions, communications, and announcements for the moment.
Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson 37. For what purpose, ma'am?
Communicate with the body, please.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the night that we've all been waiting for. This is Louisville night. So I would like to invite everyone to the Foundry at 6 p.m. for light refreshments and for a chance to hear about and to celebrate everything Jefferson County is doing. Louisville night at the Foundry, 6 p.m., all invited.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Laurel 90. For what purpose, sir?
Act on a citation.
Yes, sir.
Please have the clerk report citation 32.
Clerk, please report.
Citation 32, Representative Derek Lewis. Citation of achievement. The House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Kentucky hereby recognizes and honors Dr. Hannah Huffman.
Gentleman from Laurel.
Members, today I rise to honor Dr. Hannah Huffman. Hannah is a graduate of the University of Kentucky and went on to earn her doctorate of optometry from the University of Alabama. She started practicing in 2013, has been serving as a member of KOA since 2018, and serves as a preceptor for fourth-year optometry students. She helped develop an ocular disease residency program. She is also the optometrist my family knows and trusts. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Huffman on being sworn in as the 2025-2026 President of the Kentucky Optometric Association.
Citation is adopted. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Spencer. For what purpose, sir?
Call legislative citation, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, sir.
Please ask the clerk to report legislative citation 31 by title only.
Clerk, please report.
Citation 31, Representative Tipton. Citation of appreciation. The House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Kentucky hereby recognizes and honors Valerie Greenhill.
Gentleman from Spencer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We all recognize that we have many national organizations and regional organizations that we partner with and work with, and one of those is the Southern Regional Education Board. I'm sure most of you know that most recently the president of SREB was our former Commissioner of Education, Dr. Stephen Pruitt. He's went on to another position, and today in the Capitol here in Frankfort, we were very fortunate to have the new president of SREB here with us, Ms. Valerie Greenhill. She is a graduate of Vassar College. She went on to earn a master's in English from the University of Arizona. and in educational technology from Arizona State University. She's earned great distinction in the field of education for decades, including as a recognized authority on educational innovation. And in her conversation this morning, she shared with me that she was from Oklahoma. And Mr. Speaker, when she said "you all" in a comment, I knew she was going to be all right. So we're looking forward to our working with Valerie in her role as the new president of SREB. And Mr. Speaker, I move adoption of citation.
Without objection, so ordered. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Jefferson 42. For what purpose, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I communicate with the body a little-known Black history fact?
You may.
Distinguished members of the body, as we celebrate America's 250th anniversary, we're reminded that the greatness of this nation has never come from one voice alone. It has always come from the chorus. Phyllis Wheatley arrived in Boston Harbor in 1761, just 7 years old, stolen from West Africa, still losing her baby teeth. She was purchased off the dock and named after a ship that brought her. By every measure the world imposed on her, her story should have ended there, but it did not. Within 2 years, she was reading Latin and Greek classics, and by 14, she was publishing poetry. By 20, she had published a full collection in London, becoming the first African American and the first enslaved person to publish a book of poetry in the Western world. Before that book could be released, she sat before 18 of Boston's most powerful men, judges, merchants, John Hancock himself, and proved that the words she wrote were her own. She answered every question, and they signed their names confirming what she already knew about herself. And then George Washington, the father of this nation, read her poem about liberty, and he wrote back personally to tell her that it moved him. He invited her to his headquarters. He received her with honor. Think of this, a founding father and an enslaved Black woman at the time, brought together by the power of words and the undeniable force of talent. That moment tells us something beautiful about America. Even in its most imperfect chapter, this country has always had the capacity to recognize greatness, and when it did, it moved closer to its own promise. Phyllis Wheatley didn't wait for the world to be fair before she contributed to it. She didn't wait for freedom before she wrote about it. She poured her gift into this nation, and America was better for receiving it. That is the spirit we carry forward at 250 years. Not a perfect nation, but a striving one. A nation that at its best has always made room for voices it didn't expect. A nation that always found a way to grow. We are still growing, and the best days of this country belong to those who believe, as Phyllis Wheatley believed, that their voice matters, their talent is real, and their contribution will make a difference. America's 250th year is not just a celebration of where we have been. It's a declaration of where we are going. Phyllis Wheatley pointed the way, and it is our job to keep walking. That is Black history, that is American history, and that is our hope for a better America. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, gentlemen. Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson 40.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to withdraw a bill and recognize my legislative intern.
Yes, ma'am.
I move to withdraw House Bill 207, and I'm the primary sponsor and have filed the proper paperwork with the clerk to do so.
Without objection, so ordered. Lady
Thank
from
you.
Jefferson.
Thank you, Speaker. Colleagues, I'd like to recognize my legislative intern today. Lee Kung is a political science major who regularly makes the Dean's List at the University of Louisville and expects to graduate in 2027. Before becoming a Cardinal, she graduated from Central High School in Louisville. In addition to her academic studies and this semester's legislative internship, Lee works 3 other days each week as a deputy clerk in the Jefferson County Circuit Clerk's office. In this role, she assists judges, prosecutors, and attorneys, helps to process domestic violence petitions, and manages court records. Her graduate and career plans are focused on the law. And from everything that I've learned about her in the short time that she's been my intern, I know that she will be a brilliant attorney and an asset to our bar. Her career interests span international law, immigration law, and other policy areas where her fluency in 3 languages will assist her future clients, and her colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you, lady from Jefferson. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Allen. For what purpose, sir?
Communicate with the body.
Yes, sir.
Yes, the Capital Projects and Bond Oversight Committee will meet today upon adjournment of both chambers.
Members take note. Chair recognizes the lady from Davis. For what purpose, sir? Ma'am.
To introduce special guests.
Yes, ma'am.
We've had multiple people visiting us today, and on behalf of the gentleman from Ohio and myself, we want to welcome. We had a large group from Ohio County, so we're not sure who was left in Ohio County today because most of them were in the annex, but we were so happy to see them. And then I also had some special guests from Davis County, especially a 5th grader from Tamarack Elementary, Bronson Gregory. He accompanied his mother and also Hannah Ebelhair to visit with Frisk and Frisky. So we so welcome and so happy to have them today.
Chair recognizes the lady from Fayette 75. For what purpose, ma'am?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to welcome some guests.
Yes, ma'am.
The House Minority Caucus would like to welcome all the representatives of AARP, as well as the Kentucky Physicians for Reproductive Freedom. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, lady from Fayette. Any other members seeking recognition in motions, petitions, communications, and announcements? Seeing none, the next order of business is introduction of new bills and resolutions. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 1, Representative Moser, an act implementing the Federal Education Opportunity Program in Kentucky. House Bill 672, Representative Petrie, an act relating to branch budget bills. House Bill 673, Representative Petrie, an act relating to branch budget bills. House Bill 674, Representative Petrie, an act relating to branch budget recommendations. House Bill 675, Representative Petrie, an act relating to fiscal matters. House Bill 676, Representative Raymer, an act relating to the Kentucky statewide health data utility. House Bill 677, Representative Gooch, an act relating to geologic sequestration of carbon dioxide. House Bill 678, Representative Lockett, an act relating to food products. House Bill 679, Representative Thompson, an act relating to tourism and declaring an emergency. House Bill 680, Representative Kleins, an act relating to controlled substances. House Bill 681, Representative Watkins, an act relating to post-secondary education. House Bill 682, Representative Meade, an act relating to residency requirements for fire protection entities and declaring an emergency. House Bill 683, Representative Upchurch, an act relating to recreation and tourism development. House Bill 684, Representative Dotson, an act relating to constables and declaring an emergency. House Bill 685, Representative Riley, an act relating to teacher certification. House Bill 686, Representative Moser, an act relating to the Kentucky Positive Youth Development Commission. House Bill 687, Representative Whitaker, an act relating to stray equines. And House Joint Resolution 77, Representative Smith, a joint resolution directing the Energy Planning and Inventory Commission to conduct a comprehensive assessment of coal resource viability and energy affordability in eastern Kentucky and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next order of business is a meeting of Committee on Committees and the Rules Committee. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that the House would stand in recess for a meeting of the Committee on Committees and the Rules Committee at the clerk's desk.
Without objection, the House shall stand in recess for a meeting of Committee on Committees and the Rules Committee at the clerk's desk. House, come to order. Next order of business is report of committee on committees and rules committee. Clerk, please report.
The Committee on Committees has met and referred the following bills and resolutions: to Appropriations and Revenue, House Bill 1; to Economic Development and Workforce Investment, House Bills 620 and 623; to Elections, Constitutional Amendments, and Intergovernmental Affairs, House Bill 615; to the Judiciary, House Bill 624; to Licensing, Occupations, and Administrative Regulations, House Bill 616; to Local Government, House Bills 617 and 618; to Post-Secondary Education, House Bill 619; to Primary and Secondary Education, House Bills 621 and 626; to Transportation, House Bills 622 and 625. The Rules Committee has met and posted the following bills and resolutions to the regular orders for Friday, February 20th, 2026. House Bills 111, 455, 527, 555, 558, and 568.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The next order of business is introduction of floor amendments. Please report.
House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 249, Representative Whitaker. House Floor Amendment 3 to House Bill 497 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Tipton. And House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 534 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Marzian.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The next order of business is adjournment. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, the House shall stand adjourned until 9 a.m. Friday, February 20, the year of our Lord, 2026.
Without objection, the House shall stand adjourned until 9 a.m. Friday, February 20th, the year of our Lord, 2026.